Hello. Today we're tackling market segmentation, one of the most foundational ideas in all of marketing and product strategy. The big question it answers is simple but powerful. Who are your customers really? Because they're almost never one single group. By the end of this, you'll know how to find the distinct groups hiding inside your market, how to run the survey that uncovers them, and what to do once you have them. Let's start with the problem. Here's the trap. When you treat every customer the same, you end up bland for everyone. One product, one price, one message aimed at the whole market usually pleases no one in particular. The deal hunters think you're too expensive, the premium buyers don't feel special, and the busy parents can't find what they need. Trying to appeal to everyone at once quietly leaves money and customers on the table. The core idea is this. Your customers aren't one group, they're several. Hidden inside your market are distinct clusters of people who want different things. Once you find those groups, everything gets easier because you can speak to each one directly with the right product, the right price, and the right message. Segmentation is how you find them. So what is market segmentation formally? It's dividing a market into distinct groups of customers who share similar needs, attitudes, or behaviors, so you can target them differently. Instead of shouting one message at everyone, you tailor your approach to each group. The payoff is fewer wasted messages and a much sharper strategy overall. Now let's look at different ways you can carve up a market. There are 4 common ways to slice a market: demographic, by age, income, or gender; geographic, by where people live; behavioral, by how they buy and use a product; and attitudinal, or needs-based, by what people actually want and value. All 4 are useful, but here's the key. Needs and attitudes are usually the most actionable because they get a why people choose when they choose. That's the basis we'll use today. Let's make this real with a market everyone understands: travelers. Think about how differently people travel. Some chase the cheapest possible deal, some want luxury and comfort, no expense spared. Some are planning carefully around their kids, and some just want adventure somewhere off the map. Those feel like different people, don't they? Our goal is to uncover those hidden groups properly with data. Step 1 is a decision you make before collecting any data. What will define your groups? This is your basis for segmentation. For travelers, we're going to segment on attitudes and needs, what people genuinely want out of a trip, rather than just their age or where they live. Why? Because what someone wants is far more useful to tailoring your offer than what they look like on paper. Now the heart of it. The survey. The main tool is a battery of attitude and need statements, and you ask people to rate each one on a 5-point agreement scale, from strongly disagree to strongly agree. For travelers, that might include statements like, finding the lowest price is the most important part of planning a trip. I'll happily pay more for comfort and quality. I love going somewhere few people have been. Safety and convenience matter more than adventure. These statements are the raw material your groups will be built from, so choose them carefully. Beyond those statements, you add 2 more sets of questions. First, behavior. How many trips a year, typical budget, who they travel with, how they book. Second, profiling. Age, income, household size. Here's the important distinction. These questions don't form the segments, the attitudes do that. But behavior and demographics let you describe each group afterward, so you can recognize and reach them in the real world. Who you surveys matters even more here than usual. Start with a representative sample of your actual market, and use screening questions up front. A screener is just a quick question or two that filters the right people in and everyone else out. And critically, go bigger than you would for other studies. Often several hundred to over 1,000 people. The reason? You're about to split everyone into groups, and each group needs enough responses on its own to be reliable. Here's the whole survey in order. First, you screen to qualify the right respondents. Then you ask about their travel behavior. Then comes the heart of it, rating those attitudes and need statements. After that, an open-ended question. What matters most to you in a trip? To catch anything your statements missed. And finally, demographics. Keep this order consistent every time you run it, and your results stay clean and easy to compare. Once the data's in, step 3 is finding the groups. And this is the one part that sounds technical, so let me make it simple. Imagine plotting every person according to their answers. People who answered similarly naturally land near each other. Cluster analysis is just a method that spots the natural groupings automatically and draws lines around them. In plain English, the computer looks at everyone's answers and gathers similar people into groups. That's it. Next, you decide how many groups to keep. Usually somewhere between 3 and 6. Too few, and they're not really different from each other. Too many, and you can't realistically act on them all. And here's how you judge whether a segmentation is any good. Each segment should be distinct, clearly different from the others. Substantial, big enough to matter. Reachable, you can actually market to them. And actionable, you can do something different for them. If a group fails those tests, it's not useful, no matter how neat it looks. Finally, the fun part, bringing the groups to life. For our travelers, 4 clear segments emerge. Budget explorers, price-driven and flexible, traveling often but spending little. Luxury seekers, comfort and quality first, fewer trips but higher spend. Family planners, focus on safety and convenience, planning well ahead around their kids. And adventure chasers, drawn to novelty and the off-the-beaten path, spontaneous and active. Notice the names. Memorable labels like these are what make segments actually get used across a whole company. So how do you use all this? You can't serve every segment equally well, so first choose which ones to target. Then you tailor three things to them. Your product, what you offer, your price, what they'll pay, and your message, what you say and where you say it. Budget explorers want cheap and flexible, so you lead with deals. Luxury seekers want premium and done for them, so you lead with quality and ease. Same business, 2 completely different pitches. Let's stay balanced. The strengths. Segmentation reveals hidden structure in your market. It makes your targeting and messaging dramatically sharper, and it grounds your strategy in real data instead of guesswork. But the limitations matter too. It needs a big sample. The results depend heavily on which statements you include. Segments blur and shift over time, so they need refreshing. And remember, no real person fits a single box perfectly. So treat your segments as a powerful map of your market, not just a permanent one. Five things to walk away with. Your customers aren't one group. Segment on needs and attitudes for the most leverage. Survey a big representative sample. Aim for a few groups that are genuinely distinct and actionable. And once you've found them, name them and tailor your product, price, and message to each. Do that, and you stop shouting into the void and start speaking directly to the people you most want to reach. Thank you for watching.